Good morning, retailers, and welcome to our Wednesday edition of the GTS Retailer to Publisher Seminar. I am Scott Bohr, your category manager here at GTS for gaming specialty products, which includes dice, role-playing games, and miniatures games. So all kinds of fun stuff to help enhance your gaming experience. That's really in my wheelhouse. And today, we're going to go ahead and have a presentation from Die Hard Dice, but before we do that, let me just give you some quick pointers here. If you've never used Zoom before, and many of us have at this point, you can interact with our presenters today just by using the chat window. And if you roll over your mouse over the screen, you'll see a chat button appear down at the bottom. If you click on that, you'll get a chat window off to the side, which will give you the option to present your message either to all panelists, which is myself and the team from Die Hard Dice, or all panelists and attendees, which is everyone on the call. So you can tailor your message depending on who you want to reach with that. If you're watching on YouTube, then hit your like and subscribe and make sure your notifications are turned on so that you're aware of new videos as they come out from us in our continuing series. It's been a long-running series, so there's a lot of great content from older presentations as well as those upcoming. So make sure you're doing that. And then without further ado, I would like to hand the virtual microphone over to Alton Wheelhouse and Dayna Reed from Die Hard Dice, one of our fabulous dice vendors here at GTS Distribution.
Good morning, everybody. And yeah, thank you for joining us. We are super excited to see you today. And my name is Alton Wheelhouse. I'm the Director of Strategy for Die Hard Dice, and I'm joined by Dayna Reed, who's our Business Relations Manager. Our job is to be as boring and non-informative as possible, so I hope you've all strapped in, and it'll be a good time today. But we've got a couple of key points that we're looking forward to hitting today. Among other things, we want to make sure to help you guys understand a little bit more about who we are, what we do, what we care about, what our secret sauce is, what makes Die Hard Dice so great, and how we have been successful, as well as being able to open up some time to let you guys see some of the products that we're currently offering, some hints about things that are to come, and then ask some general questions right at the very end. When you have questions as we go along, if you're joining us live, make sure to add them in the chat, and we would love to be able to answer them there. Otherwise, afterwards, go ahead and reach out to your representative, and they should be able to either answer the question for you or reach out to us. Yeah, let me get my screen shared here and we'll get going. So, this presentation contains powerful magics and legendary artifacts. So if you are not prepared or do not have sufficient constitution to proceed, steel yourself, take your potions. Here we go. But first, who the heck is Die Hard Dice? As I said before, I'm Alton Wheelhouse, Director of Strategy here. I'm a former game store owner. I'm a current game store owner. I was the first wholesale account with Die Hard Dice, and I love games, and I love game and process design. So it's going to be a pretty sweet time, but I oversee the business relations, product launch, and marketing arms of the company. And while there's almost nothing that I could do for you that Dayna can't, you may see me from time to time if you ever need to email into us for some reason, or if you ever see content from Die Hard. I love working with GTS and my team here and at GTS Rock, so please make sure to utilize them. Dayna, on the other hand, do you want to go ahead and take a second to introduce yourself?
For sure. Okay, so I am Dayna Reed. I am the Business Relations Manager here at Die Hard Dice. I am an avid board game collector. I've been an RPG player and GM for 8 years now. I love puzzles of all kinds, and I have been assisting game stores with their dicey needs for well over a year now here at Die Hard. Anything that GTS cannot help you with, I am more than happy to, so feel free to email me at any time.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, again, GTS, we're going to be working a lot with them in the coming months. We've been reworking our entire distribution program to help provide better resources, and so in the next short while, you should be seeing a lot of additional resources coming out to help you. But if at any time something does come up, try to reach out to your GTS rep first. If they can't help you, get in touch with us at service@dieharddice. First, let's start about the Die Hard Dice story time. So, would have been 6 years ago now. Todd bought a set of metal dice. Todd is the owner of Die Hard Dice, and he loved them. He has a lot of nostalgia for the RPGs that he played when he was young, and he knows that if he loves them, other people will too. So he and his wife, Jessie, open up a little web store operating out of their bedroom and pull in his brother, Paul, to come up with a name, Die Hard, because they're die cast and hard, heavy metal dice, right? This company grows over 2 years until it is literally too big to fit in Todd and Jesse's bedroom anymore, and becoming very difficult for him to hold a different full-time job. And early on, it became very apparent people love cool things made by other cool people who think, design, and fulfill that product intentionally. Our party begins to level up as we bring on more people, and our quest becomes abundantly clear. People love Die Hard dice. So we want to reach as many people as possible and create beautiful, inspiring, intentionally designed products that they will love. And we know that they will love them because we love them. We test them ourselves with our game store and distribution partners, and we do everything that we can to make sure that we are building something that someone will love. So let's talk about how we help your community love their dice. In order to explain that, we need to continue the Die Hard story. Todd and Paul share a very similar customer service philosophy, coming from the background of a success in a multi-million-dollar company. And it's a couple of steps. First, you need to start with an excellent product that you know inside and out. Then they wanted to add some special sauce. In this case, for us, it's been personal handwritten notes and freebies. We want to show our love for customers, that it's real and from the heart. We want to be thoughtful, intentional, genuine, and generous. And we want our customers to know that they are longtime friends to us. As Jack Black says, it doesn't matter if it's good, it only matters if it rocks. And so we need to provide service so surprising that it makes people cry, so good that they turn into missionaries for our company, so amazing that they preach it on their Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We receive songs and poems and artwork and emails every day of the week from people who love our products and want to support us. And we think that that is the best kind of advertising, because if you have to pay for advertising, advertising is a tax that you pay for being unremarkable. So if you produce something amazing and you do it intentionally, people will follow. But wait a second, you might ask, why in the world would you do anything more than just sell the dice? And this is what we call that next second order thinking, right? A lot of people don't see how it could work. And when it does, they say that it's a fluke. But we have to understand that there are multiple levels to how we do things. First, we understand we want to sell dice. The simple transaction is that we take their money and we give them their dice. The customer got what she thought she'd get, but nothing memorable occurs. And while you did indeed do your part, we felt that that was not enough. So we have to go to that second order, right? Then what? If we didn't do anything more, the customer gets bored, they go onto Amazon, they buy more dice, they buy more games, they buy more RPGs, and don't even think about it. So, okay, so what we did was we said we have to come up with some special sauce to make people think, what more, right? What more is going to make them come back to us? First thing we did was we included freebies. Then we asked the question, then what? Well, it occurred to us that if somebody receives something in a package and they weren't expecting it, and there's no indication that it should be there, they might think it was a mistake. So we decided to include a handwritten note as well. And the first time, they're like, wow, that's really cool. And they tell a buddy or whatever. But then they think about you a couple weeks later as they're considering picking up their next set. And so they come back and they go, wow, that first time was really neat, and they don't expect it. But then they get it a second time. And somebody on the other end who saw them leave a note says, hey, wow, yeah, thanks for coming back. I helped fulfill your order last time. We're super excited. I know you're going to love these dice. We've had our clerics bless them especially for you. Right? That customer begins to build some of that positive emotional energy and is definitely going out of their way. Now, instead of paying for marketing with dollars and cents and clicks and revenue, we're paying for it with kindness, because somebody on the opposite end of the transaction knows that there's a real person on the opposite side of the counter. Every business needs that kind of marketing, and this has the side effect of being both internally successful and externally successful. One of the greatest strengths of a local game store is that people have the idea, I need to shop at my local game store because I want to support them. And that's a good thing. That gives you a huge leg up. But in order for us to take advantage of that, in order for us to really deliver on the idea that we're going to be that local game store, that local resource, we need to earn that trust, earn that relationship, and be what we call the purple cow. If you're driving through a countryside, passing over hills and through fields, you're going to see a ton of cows on the side of the road, and you're going to get to the gas station and not think a thing about it. But if you're driving through the Kansas countryside and all of a sudden a purple cow comes bounding up on a skateboard, winks at you, and dives off over the hills, as soon as you get to the gas station, you're going to tell every single person, and you're going to go back and look for it on your way home. That's the kind of experience that we want to create, because that is the difference that Amazon cannot provide. Now, our job is not to tell you what your secret sauce should be. For us, it's the handwritten notes and freebies. But every good strategy is going to start with a fundamental product that we understand and that we love. And we know that Die Hard Dice is the best product for you to put that secret sauce all over. So let's talk about how to make value greater than price. A lot of my background is not only in the corporate world, but also in working with sales teams. And there was something that a very early sales trainer said to me that's always stuck in my head, which is when value is greater than price, the customer will always buy. And so it's not necessarily about providing a monetary return. It's not about how much a product costs. It's about what it's worth, what that perceived value is. And so we try to do a lot of cool things with our products to really make them worthwhile. First and foremost, metal sets, which we're extremely famous for. Okay, these are a high impact zinc alloy. A lot of people ask, are they really made of gold? No, you're not going to get a set of gold dice for 45 bucks. I'm sorry. But nevertheless, we try to make sure that they're going to be durable, that they're going to hold on to their finishes and paints really well. And we utilize this zinc core because it enables us to do a lot of really cool things. We also have embraced above standard sizing. Every metal set that we are producing going forward is something that we're producing ourselves. And we do everything that we can to make them stand out from everything around it, including hand finishes, which lets us do the two-tone paint like you can see in the Spellbinder Gaia, or being able to do custom fills like you see in Forge Winter's Embrace and Celestial Archon, which have some unique glitter and optical effects. And I'll show you some examples of that in just a bit. But the other thing that we want to make sure is that because this is a premium product, like a jewelry, or like something that somebody's really going to want to hold on to and treasure, we make sure that every single metal set comes in a padded velvet case. And I'll show you some more of that later on as well. Similarly, we have a whole bunch of premium polymer sets. We have styles and pricing for every player. These can be your very basic sets like the green scroll with gold in the lower left-hand corner, that's $5, all the way up to really nice hand-finished polymer sets that can be $12, or now we're starting to release some even nicer beyond that. But every single set, regardless of price, is going to be quality controlled. It's going to come fully clamshelled with a barcode so that you are ready to go. It's got the SKU and the name on the back, very easy to identify, very easy to use. We've been focusing on creating a lot of Die Hard Dice exclusives. These are things like the Moonstone Dreamwalker, Divination, and Glacial Moonstone on the right-hand side. We're going to be distributing a catalog to your distribution team, and they'll be able to help you identify things that are unique Die Hard exclusives that you can only get through us. Even when we help other companies or work with other companies to produce dice sets, we try to save some of the coolest and best stuff for ourselves. And so we hope that that's something that you'll really enjoy. And one of the latest innovations that we've gotten into is Avalor. This is a brand new mold that we have launched, and recently we launched the first sets for our family called Isa, which is crystal clear like ice. These are sharp-edged dice, in quotes, right? Not enough to cut you, but much more sharp than your traditional tumbled dice. They're also hand-painted to ensure that they're really high quality. They utilize a larger Avalor sizing, so they're larger than a traditional dice set. And we are producing all kinds of new things because we control exclusive rights to this mold and to the processes of production. We're able to produce some really cool materials. And so in the coming weeks and months, keep your eyes open. There are a couple of partnered products that we've already released. You may have seen Forte, launched by Critical Bard. That unfortunately is not available through distribution because it is a product produced with a partner. However, it's something that's indicative of what's to come. So keep your eyes open and keep in touch with your rep. We also have Dire D20s. These are oversized D20 sets. or D20s themselves, rather, dice. They're huge, but they're not overly pricey. We were trying to find the right size that would appeal to a player so that it really feels substantial and meaningful in the hand and on the table, but that wasn't so large and cumbersome that it wouldn't be fun to play with and it would be too expensive to produce. Because remember, for every millimeter you expand, you're actually expanding 4 millimeters. It's the square cube law, right? So we want to make sure that we're paying attention to how big something is getting. We want our players to learn to fear the thunder, but not be afraid of the price tag. And alongside with that, we're making sure that we have dyers that match our sets. In some cases, we'll launch a set first and then follow up with a dyer some months later. In some cases, we'll start by experimenting with a dyer to see whether it's something that customers are interested in. But whenever we see a set that sells well or a dyer that sells well, we make sure that there is a complementary pairing to it. And today you'll notice that Dreamscape Lunar Abyss on the right-hand side. This is a special finish that we have and we have a limited supply of, but we're going to be doing a special deal with them. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. We also have dual scrolls and trays. You'll notice that we've upgraded our magnetic trays. We launched the Snap trays, would have been 5 years ago now. And the market took to them, absolutely loved them, but nobody's innovated on them and we decided it was time. So we've added additional padding to them. They fold completely flat and then just fold up into place and lock in utilizing magnets, so it keeps them really nice. We also have towers that match them that fold flat as well, and I'll show you some of those in just a minute. But the other thing that we launched at the end of last year that we've been having a lot of fun with are dual scrolls. We just got a whole bunch opened up to distribution and we're super excited for them. We showed you the designs of them on the back side here, but I have one that I'll show live in just a minute. And you'll notice that on either end, there are round cavities. One side has padding in it just to be able to hold 2.5 loose dice sets, but the other side actually has containers that are perfect for miniatures, metal dice sets, oversized dice, things like that. And the magnetic tabs on them mean that they'll always close every time without having a mechanical failure, which we like a lot. And those dual scrolls are also going to be part of a deal today, so keep your eyes open for that. The other big one that just launched last week that we're opening up to distribution and should be available for you pretty presently here is Dracona. This is a product that we've been developing for a few years because we had to overcome some engineering problems. A lot of people have tried to do dragon scale dice, and as our factories started to send pictures out, a lot of people have been trying to copy what we did. Unfortunately, the majority of those dragon scale dice are just diamond-shaped crisscross patterns. And once you actually look at them in person, they're not super impressive. And so we went in-house to make sure that we sat down with our designers and designed something really cool. So each individual dragon scale is actually extruded. It begins from the 20 face and goes all the way down to the 1 face. The first 4 sets that we've launched right now are the Chaos family, Nyx, Erebus, Aether, and Homera. But we also have some unfilled classic dragons that will be coming out in just a few weeks here. You'll be seeing some notification from your GTS reps soon on that. They're really, really beautiful in person. I'm going to show one off on camera in a little bit too, so that you can see one there. But they're raised dragon scale faces. They have a unique, easy to read font that we designed specifically for Dracona. They have both unique inlays and finishes. So you can see our bottom ones there have a rainbow finish with a clear inlay to keep the faces protected. The tops have a standard finish, but include a blue inlay. Really makes them pop. We're creating a whole bunch of other styles that'll be coming out soon as well, and you'll see those announcements coming. The other thing is, since we had the opportunity to work a brand new mold, we wanted to make sure that it was larger than the industry standard. And so as you pick these up and compare them side by side with your traditional sets from other companies, you're going to see they're substantially larger. They feel like you actually got your money's worth, and that's the point. We also made sure that they're available in 7-piece, 11-piece, and Dyer D20s. So those will all be pretty fun to have. And we're going to make sure that you have a way to get some of these for free. A lot of game stores, the first time that they see metal dice, they get a little scared because they don't think somebody's willing to spend $40 to $60 on a set of dice. Having owned 2 game stores and working for the company who produces them, I can assure you, people love their metal dice. All they have to do is see them and pick them up and roll them, and you'll sell sets every day. So today's deal, which I told you I was going to do, if you get a Dragon's Wrath dual scroll and a Queen's Treasure dual scroll, so one of each style, and a Dreamscape Lunar Abyss. We're actually upgrading the deal that we were going to work out for GTS. You will get a Dracona set for free. So that's $165 of MSRP. I'm not sure what your pricing is individually. It's going to depend upon what you've negotiated with GTS. But just paying for those 3 pieces on the right, we will send you a random Dracona set for free. So it's going to be a pretty sweet deal. And then that way you get to try putting out a metal set on the shelf and see. And I guarantee you it's going to be gone within 48 hours. We have been selling through gangbusters like this, gangbusters on Dracona stuff as we're getting everything ready to go. And we fully anticipate that this is going to be something that runs out before we can get a restock. Our goal in that is not to have you you have fear of missing out, because we will be getting more in, but because of all the complications of this year, our supply chain has been a little slower than usual. So my recommendation is take advantage of this and get the sets that you can. We should be restocking relatively soon, but wanted to make sure to give you the heads up there. So make sure to take a note of that after the call, get in touch with your reps, and we'll make sure that they have everything that they need to get you taken care of. But the other thing that sets Die Hard Dice apart, besides just having cool things, is that we have the Die Hard guarantee. A lot of companies put warranties or guarantees on their products because it makes people feel good, right? But many of them are limited, only apply to manufacturing defects, or only happen if you open the box and immediately call us up and return it. But we have the Die Hard guarantee, which goes even above and beyond that. This is how it is, and this will be in the back of all the catalogs that your sales reps will have as well. But just reading it out really quick, your customer wants a dice set that is as awesome as their character's favorite weapon. That's why we only source the best dice sets we can find and carefully examine each individual die before we ship it to you. The best dice sets require more than just a pretty face. They should be balanced, durable, and readable too. We evaluate many potential styles and colors, and we only put what we consider the best dice into our store. D&D sets that we would be happy to take with us on our own campaigns. All of our products come with a simple guarantee. If you are dissatisfied with your dice for any reason at any time, you can contact us at service@dieharddice.com and we'll make it right, whatever it takes. GTS is already going to go out of their way to make sure that you're taken care of. If something arrives to you damaged or problematic, I'm sure that they're going to make sure that you're taken care of. But if a customer comes in 6 months from now and a corner of their die is chipped off, there was some invisible fracture that we couldn't see upon our inspection, and now they're sad about it, get them taken care of. If you have one in shop, replace the set for them, send an email to Dayna at service@dieharddice.com, and then we'll be able to get a replacement set out to you right away, because it is our commitment to our product and to our customers that we will produce the best dice on the market. And we stand behind everything we do. It's part of the reason why we've moved into our own production and our own design, because it allows us to ensure that our processes turn out the way that we intend to. And while we do occasionally still find problems, blemishes, or things that we don't find ideal, we always do the best that we can to make sure that we quality check. And when there is a problem, we will always make it right, no matter what it takes. So take that confidence and know that when you buy a Die Hard product, you aren't just putting something on the shelf to sell to the customer. You're making sure that your character, that your, you're making sure that your customers have been promised something important, meaningful, that's going to last, that's going to carry them through many adventures and through many levels. So at this point, I am going to try to answer a couple of questions. We know that you don't get a lot of opportunity to speak with dice manufacturers, and as long as it doesn't constitute a trade secret, we would love to be able to help you out. So Scott, what have you got for me so far?
Right. So the primary questions, actually, most of the comments in the chat are very positive. And then the magnetic trays and scrolls of rolling are on fire is something that is commented there. And then also there's just requests to see the packaging for the dice. So that's gonna require the best way to do that, just so that the video is captured, is to stop your screen share and then show the product lines if you want to do that. There is a comment that wow, that's an awesome guarantee. So yes, it is. It's a great guarantee, and it's a great company to work with. We're very pleased to be in this partnership with Die Hard Dice. We think their product is fabulous and their service has been excellent. So top notch there.
Thank you very much, Scott. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, Dana, I have made a mistake and actually did not bring up one of the clamshelled sets of polymer. Will you go grab that for me?
Yeah, I'll run down to the warehouse and grab that right now.
Thank you very much. But I do have some loose dice for you to be able to see, as well as a metal set. So I'll hold this up so you can see it. So this is the standard metal tin for our 7 sets and 11 sets. And got to open it up. Here we go. So you can see the inside has foam padding on top, and then the dice themselves come cradled in a velvet foam. Helps to make sure that they stay nice, but that it also looks really clean in the box. One of my favorite ways to display them at my own store is actually inside of a jewelry case, because they feel very nice, and when they're well lit, they really show up and shine. But you can see this is actually a set that hasn't yet released. So get excited for that. You can't pick up all of the glimmer and glitter on a camera, but this is going to be coming out soon. You'll see details in coming weeks. We're really excited for it. And you'll also notice, again, these are using that Mythica font, which we designed specifically to be very readable. Nice oversized numbers. And the other thing that I'll take a second to show you is side by side with Dyer D20. So here's your standard D20, and here's your Dyer. Okay. Now you can see side by side, those are a very substantial difference. And that's the difference that 5 millimeters makes in a die. Millimeter by millimeter can make a huge difference, because again, you're not just expanding linearly, you're expanding in all 3 directions. And so when you compare to a standard competitor's die, our regular D20 is already oversized, then our Dyer D20 is substantially larger than that. And it makes for a really cool companion set for players. GMs all the time work with us to be able to have something special for their big bad evil guy, or for when the roll really counts, players like to have their special die set aside. And so it creates some cool opportunities there. This is a set called Frostfell that's going to be coming out this week. You'll be receiving information from your reps on that very soon. But you see it's a high readability die, that nice black with the white fill. And the white fill also has a little bit of blue in the sparkle. It's kind of hard to pick up on my cheap webcam, but it's something that I think you'll really like. Well,
Alton, is the UPC on the back of the tin, or does that come on the
Oh, yes, I apologize. So this one, since I didn't grab the set that's out yet, it doesn't have the UPC on the back yet, but there's a UPC right here. It has the name, all of the legal warning information, the UPC, and our in-house SKU, so that you've got everything you need ready to go there. And we've also made sure to use a durable but replaceable sticker, so that if it arrives in an orientation, usually it's going to arrive along a top like this. But if you don't like it in that orientation, for however your guys pick it up, you'll be able to take it off, change the orientation, put it on top, put it on the inside, whatever you need. And then here is packaging for our polymer sets. So it comes in a standardized clamshell with one of those sombrero openings at the top. You can see we've got premium original to indicate that this is an original set. And then we have a couple of other styles. When we do Dyers, it comes in one of these clamshells, and it has a little plastic cradle that holds it right in the center, so it displays really cleanly. And the other thing that's kind of hard to see through a webcam, but you can see we've got a logo through the back there, so that for these ESA sets that are crystal clear, or anything that has translucency, you can start to see that, oh, there's something through it. And then on the back side here, you can see all that information. So it makes for a pretty cool, clean presentation. At my store, we actually carry the full line. And so you should be able to fit basically everything within a reasonable amount of space. The other thing that I personally have found, and this is my recommendation to anybody out there, is the more of a line that you carry, the more likely it will sell. If people see that you are dedicating space and time to something that you really like, they will automatically infer that you trust that product and therefore are more likely to buy it. So we've tried to design everything so that it's clean and easy to display. There will be additional display options coming out in 2021, which we'll talk about when we get there. Here is that one of those ESA dice. So hopefully you can see through there. Pretty cool stuff. These have been going gangbusters for us as well. Customers are really jazzed and excited to play with them. And they just turn out really nicely. We also have a number of sets that are glow-in-the-dark sets. So there's that even just in the light of the room. It's pretty cool stuff, both in polymer and metal. And one could surmise that cool things could be coming in that area as well. No spoilers. Another set that's going to be coming out next month, you'll be seeing some pre-orders coming from your reps here in the coming weeks, is Larkspur. This is one of our Halloween sets, and we'll be doing a special on it. So nice purple shimmery inlay with a copper finish. Very excited for it. And then the piece de resistance, the one that everybody looks forward to seeing, is Dracona, which again, my crappy webcam, I'm very sorry. Let's see how close I can get there.
Yeah.
But you can see under the inlay, it picks up in person. It's a dazzling thing. And just really, really gorgeous. Nice solid set of dice. Here's our trays. So you can see they fold flat, put them up like that. They snap into place. Pretty nifty. It's got this nice super cushy padding in the bottom so that it can stand up to metal or polymer, no problem. I've seen players literally rolling handfuls of metal D6s into this sharp edge stuff, not an issue. And these are one of our dice towers. They're pretty cool. They unsnap in the middle like that. Pop the sides down and it folds flat so that you can store it in the same, almost the same footprint as your tray inside your bag. And then it just pops right up. And this is not a physical, it is a magnet. Just helps to make sure everything stays aligned and nice. But they fit into our trays as well, so that it's all good to go. And we have both square and rectangle trays, as you may have seen on the slide, but we'll make sure that you have all that information handy. What else are we seeing? Let's see.
So Alex had a great idea. He says, I use the lid to show people as a possible small dice tray, and after they get tired of that, they buy an actual dice tray. So there's a great little incentive there. Scott asks, is there a hope requirement that we give out something for free as a bonus or a handwritten note if someone purchases in the store? What are some of the examples of what people receive for free when ordering online?
Yeah, absolutely. So you are not required by any means to give away free stuff or handwrite a note to every customer just because you're selling Die Hard dice. More what we would encourage you to do are find ways to create special opportunities for people in your community. One of the things that I've done in my store is I picked up a whole bunch of the cheap sets, just the $5 to $6 range, so that I have them ready for D&D events and things like that. The other thing is that I love to hand out trays to community GMs who are always coming in, helping to run events, helping to grow the store, teaching new players how to play. If you help your community members to be your best sellers, your best advocates, then it becomes a self-paying thing. You can pay somebody a single tray for doing literally hours of work and hours of proselytizing to help you grow your store. And it's a very simple thing to do. The goal here is not necessarily to provide monetary value, but it's to be real and honest and thankful and grateful. If the people that walk into your store know that you actually give a crap, that you care about them, that you want them to be happy and successful, that it's more than just a money grab for you, they will take care of you every single time.
Great. Yeah, well, I was going to comment earlier that one of the problems with dice is that they're extremely difficult to replicate visually in a photograph or in a video. So
yeah,
seeing these things live in your hand is a dramatic change from what you see on the screen. Also, there is an ask about what this set of dice is. Do you recognize that? What is that one?
Yeah, Dayna, take it away.
I believe that one is Bloodbath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's from our Dark Arts family. A lot of our premium metal sets have two-tone paint in the background. They're all hand painted. And so we have Spellbinders, which are two separate colors. And then we have Dark Arts, which constitutes an onyx and some other color. Right now, we're waiting for a restock on a number of the Dark Arts sets. And so I think there are only a few that are going to be available to distribution right now, but that will be changing as we continue to be restocked through the end of the year and the beginning of next year. We absolutely love it. And it also comes in a dire D20 size. So
let me check here real quick. We do have that in stock at GTS. So if you're interested in Bloodbath, we do have it in stock now. There are a couple of things that were mentioned on the deal that we don't have in our system just yet. The Abyss D20, or the Dire D20, we don't have that one in our system, so we need to get that in the system. And then what I'll do is I'll put together an email to the stores that are on this call. Those are the attendees who are eligible to receive that special deal. And I will send you an email with all the information that you need to make that order happen once we get off this call and I have all the information myself. So some new things that are newly announced that we don't have in the system just yet, but we'll get that done and get that email out to you so you can take full advantage of that. And I highly recommend that you do. It's a great product line. I have several sets myself. And I've got my dual scroll rolling here in the box. You can't really, there you go.
Oh yeah, I didn't show that yet, sorry.
Yeah, if you want to show that one off.
Yeah, so he showed you the box. It does come in retail packaging. Really nice high-end box. They're not flimsy boxes. I have players reusing them all the time. But the dual scrolls are really something special. We've got two different styles available right now. One with art by Devin Rue, who does a lot of high-end fantasy maps in the community, especially if you watch any of the online playcasters. I guarantee you have seen her work. And then the other one that I have here is the Dragon with Crystal Soli, who's another artist in the community. But you can see the inside has this nice velveted base, which keeps your dice nice, helps to protect your table. On this side over here, you've got space and it comes with a foam inside, so that if they have undersized dice, they can stay in without any issue. This side will hold 2.5 sets. And then on this side, you have a larger chamber that includes canisters. And these are really excellent. I love using them for metal sets to help keep them nice, but they are also properly sized to be able to hold standard size miniatures. And so I'm actually participating in 2 different campaigns right now. I have a different dual scroll for each campaign with the dice sets that I like and the miniatures that I like all ready to go. And we see that happening very frequently with players. Even Magic players have actually enjoyed utilizing dual scrolls. They're a little bit undersized compared to a playmat, so they're definitely not for everybody. We're looking at some additional options to help Magic players in the coming year, so keep ears to the ground on that. But they're just a really cool product. And then, you know, they fold up all nice. They've got the nice little magnetic tabs there. So it just slips into your bag, no problem. You know, 8.5 inches tall, so they'll sit right alongside your player's handbook or standard notebook, anything that you have in your bag. Fits into the water bottle pocket on the side of my backpack, which is really convenient for when I'm traveling places too. So yeah, love it.
Derek asked a question here about how do you recommend displaying the metal sets on a shelf rather than in a case? So if you don't have a display case, what's your recommendation for how stores display that more openly?
Yeah, we're doing our best to solve some of those problems for the coming year to help create some better display options for people that we can help provide, or GTS can help provide in this case. But nevertheless, what we have seen a lot of success with are people opening them up and then shrink wrapping them so that they stay in place. Makes it very easy for people. Or if you have a visible portion of the store, you can have it out and let people open it up. My honest recommendation, though, is to set it up in a space where people can ask questions about it. The most effective way to sell these is to put them into people's hands. And so if you have a little demo tray on the counter and somebody walks up asking about metal dice, I recommend take out the percentile die and the D10, hand it to them and say, go ahead and roll them. The first thing they will do is this. and they'll say, oh, and they'll hear them clatter and they'll feel how heavy they are. They'll roll them into the tray and then they'll have bought the set. At that point, it's basically a done deal. As long as you have a color that appeals to them, there's no way they're walking out the store without a piece of Die Hard.
Something that I've done a lot at conventions that's had a lot of success too is if you hand them a polymer D20 and they're feeling that in their hand, and then you drop the metal D20 into their hand, they can barely feel the polymer die. And I've sold so many metal sets doing that at convention. It is a fantastic method.
Yeah. And, you know, and for players who are unsure about metal sets, get them started with a nice Die Hard original. All of our polymer sets are very carefully quality controlled. They're gorgeous to look at. Many of them have optical effects that you can only see in certain lights or under certain conditions. And so get them started there and help them understand the value of having good dice that you love to use, that you love to look at. Because as much as players like to say, I only use dice for D&D, the fact is the majority of your D&D session is sitting there looking at your character sheet and your dice. And so if you have players who are looking at something that they hate, they're going to hate the game and they're not going to have a good time. If they're looking at something beautiful, it immensely improves the experience.
Excellent. Now, any additional questions, feel free to drop those into the chat. We appreciate the questions and are there. Were you able to show all the packaging that you wanted to show? I know Dayna had gone off to get a package that was that the
that was the clamshell for the dice. Yeah.
Great.
And then our trays and towers come in a plastic cellophane like this, a little sombrero punch at the top too, but you can see on the back it's got all of your SKU information and barcode and things like that. Helps to keep them clean.
And getting back to one other thing about the packaging, at least early on when we got sets, when I got my sets from you, they had a card or like a business card size thing that had either like a comment or a joke or a piece of trivia or something like that. Is that still part of the Die Hard way?
In fact, it is. All of our metal sets do come with a little bonus card in the bottom. We like to keep it as a secret Easter egg, but we do some.
Sorry.
No. Don't apologize by any means. I'm saying I'm not going to tell you what's on the card. We recently updated them, so all of our new sets going forward are actually going to have some new cards, and every quarter we're going to be updating them. So definitely check it out. Pick up a set for yourself. I love them, and you know, and that's really the thing is. I was literally the first wholesaler to ever work with Die Hard. At the time, I was just starting a brand new game store. I was trying to get things running. This was 5.5 years ago now. And I had a Saturday morning event and I had shipping delays the week that we were opening. And both of my distributors called me and said, this isn't going to work. I'm sorry, but it's not going to arrive until Monday. And I was scrambling. And fortunately, Todd, you know, working out of his bedroom at the time, saw that I was a game store and local and wanted to help out. And Die Hard Dice literally kept my store open for the first 4 months. It took us everything that we had to get going. But as I've gone and started opening my second store and I'm working with GTS, Die Hard has been consistently a top seller. And I'm not even physically behind the counter. I don't do anything in the store. It's just my guys. But both of them had never played with Die Hard, picked it up, started to use it. All of a sudden, we were making rent, right? And that really is the thing. When you build something intentional and you make it real, you make it high quality, and you give people exactly what they're looking for, even if they don't know that they were looking for it, you're going to see success. I see a question about selling the mini containers separate.
Yep.
That is something that we are working on. We're actually updating those containers right now so that they'll be a much nicer solution, but I would keep your ears to the ground.
There's also a question about, have you considered offering some type of retailer intro set, like a bundle or a package, it sounds like, preferably at a deeper discount, of course, but something made up of bestsellers or the ones that really eye catch?
We would love to. This is a conversation that we're actually going to be having with the GTS team very soon about putting some of that together. I'm sure that in some situation, if you've already bought into the Die Hard line and GTS has been taking care of you, we will make sure that they have something extra to pass on to those of you who really make sure to get in earlier than later. But down the road, there will be more options, as well as a bestsellers list that'll be going out every quarter to keep you guys updated as to what we're seeing and what's coming up.
Great. And then Alex comments that he has customers that use the cards to help build their dungeons. So
Nice.
a little bit of a tip there. So there you go.
I do that as well.
You do that as well, yeah.
We got a ton of fun things, and we're always trying to find new ways to innovate and do cool things for the community. You know, if there's ever feedback that you guys have, questions, things that you want done, or things that you're hearing from the community, you know, reach out to your rep at GTS or send us an email at service@dieharddice.com. Dayna is generally a kind person, and I'm sure she would be more than willing to take your feedback and chew me out for not doing it right the first time. But
I love feedback. I love getting feedback emails. They are my favorite emails that I get in the day.
So some excellent examples. We started experimenting with dice a couple of years ago, particularly polymer, trying to create new things. And so this is Spring Equinox, which is kind of difficult to catch in the light, but you may notice you can see through it at certain angles, but it is actually an opaque die. Because we had people who were really giving us good feedback there, we were able to design some cool things. And because we do all of our testing and design in-house, gives us some good options. Another great one we had a set that we originally called Gollum, and somebody in the community reached out, wasn't crazy animated or upset or anything, but just said, hey, you know, Gollum is a term that is sacred to some people, and I just wanted to make sure you were aware. And so we changed the name. So now all of what used to be called Gollum are now called Ancients. Again, it was something small, and it's something that nobody had to make a big deal about, but we try to pay attention because we aren't everybody, but we want to build something for anybody, right? And so if you see something that you've always wanted, always thought of, or something that could be improved, we're trying to find ways to do it.
All right. Manuel says, I've been against metal dice for a while because of the retail costs, but I'm going to go in on this line, and I highly recommend that you do. It's a great line. There's so many different options, and they're all beautiful. You know, I have several sets myself, so some of my favorite dice to use are Die Hard dice, so I appreciate that. And then Sean says, make sure you use all caps when emailing Dayna to really capture the serious in your text.
Again, everyone,
feel free to yell any emails at me that you'd like.
And again, that's service@dieharddice.com. Angry emails only. Send your happy ones to GTS reps.
Yep, great. Excellent. All right. I don't see any further questions, so if you do have anything, go ahead and put that in the chat real quick. Once again, I will be sending out information and hopefully the catalog out to our retail partners who are on this call with the information on how to take advantage of that deal that was mentioned earlier today. So we'll make sure you get taken care of on that. Otherwise, I want to make sure that we honor your day and make sure that we return as much of it to you as possible. Thank you for the great product. We've been carrying your product for years, and it has served us well, says Alex. So another kudos for you there. So and we've really enjoyed the partnership. We've had a great deal of success. We've always had a great interactions with the Die Hard Dice team. So I want to thank you guys as well for being great partners. We really appreciate it. We appreciate having the product to sell and making sure that people are happy with the product that they're getting. So we appreciate that. I want to thank you guys specifically for taking time out of your day to be here with us to talk to our retail partners and to really kind of shed some light on your philosophy as well as the product lines, and we appreciate that. And there's one more comment from Derek, actually a question. Does Die Hard have an online source for digital marketing assets? So you have a Dropbox or?
Yeah, that's something that we are actually actively putting together this week and next week. You should be seeing something launching on the website very soon. But in the meantime, if there is anything that you need in terms of pictures or marketing assets or logos or anything, feel free to email into service@dieharddice, and Dayna will make sure to get you taken care of. we're also trying to put together a small packet to get over to your GTS reps so that as things get updated every quarter, they'll have resources available.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook retailer page?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Any sales restrictions for Latin America? Is GTS permitted to sell into Latin America?
Yeah, selling into Latin America is just fine. One thing with Die Hard products is that we do not allow people to sell on mass marketplaces. So eBay, Amazon, things like that. We really want to make sure that the focus is on the gaming experience in the local game stores. So please honor that and be kind to it. But outside of that, as long as you're following GTS's rules, you're probably following ours.
Great. And the contact info is service@dieharddice.com. And I've just added that to the chat so that you have it there right in front of you there. So, and that'll be on the YouTube video as well. So you can reach out to you as needed. All right.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I want to make sure all the questions. All right, great. Everything is in. Once again, I appreciate your time. Thank you guys for being here. Retailers, thank you for taking the time out of your day. We know that it's a valuable commodity, and we want to make sure that you are able to maximize it. So thank you again for being here, for taking the time out. I'll get the information on that deal out to you. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and hit your notifications to make sure that you get future updates. There's a link down in the description as well that'll give you the link to sign up for the future webinars if you're a retail partner of GTS. Thank you guys all for being here, and have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.